So when did politics set in? Because we are aware that from was it 1982 to 1985, you were the Minister of Information and the PNDC.
84 to 84,
yes.
And then 84 to 86.
Yes. Education.
And then in between,
local government,
which I never really assumed. I was named it, but I never really assumed it. Then I went to the National Commission for Democracy.
So when and how did politics set in?
You see, again, that is the national service you should be talking about. Because remember that it was a military regime. So none of us had sort of stood to be elected for the positions that we were in. We were all called to come and serve. That's how I saw it. A call to service.
How did you land that job? Where were you? How did the call come through? Who approached you for the first time? Let's talk about it.
The approaching started, you know, it's quite early in the day. I remember that I was named to serve on the council for the national, what was it? The one that became the CDR, the National People's Democratic something anyway, you know how far back it is, with Chris Atim heading it then. But I called Chris Atim and I said, look, Chris Atim, this is not, I mean, this place is not the place I can function. Approached to go and serve in the Ministry of Trade, and I couldn't see myself there, so I didn't go. And then I was approached later on to take up the Ministry of Information. And that sort of seemed like, because I've always been a people's person and sort of always wanted to put things across well, articulate the viewpoints of institutions and governments. It was sort of right down my alley, so I accepted that. And I think that some interesting things happened.
Like what?
For example, you know, GBC TV was black and white. We needed to go color. One thing I remember is that they had done the tendering and everything, and they had awarded the job to a British company against a Japanese company. And at the time, you know, I mean, if you're talking anything, you know, technology, television, digital things and so on, you were talking Japan. So I was wondering, you know, because it was almost as if a British company will have to go and buy the things from Japan anyway. So I took it to cabinet and I said, well, this is what the committee has said, but I disagree with the committee for reason 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But it's not a decision that I need to take by myself. So let's look at it. So we looked at it, and eventually it got offered to the Japanese, and they did a pretty good job, you know. And then when I was at Information, there were no books in the system. It was so pathetic.
Really?
Oh my goodness. You could have a class of 56 with one book. It was so heartbreaking. So what I did was to get the director in charge of supplies to do a detailed account, give me a detailed account of the needs. Mathematics, English, social science, all the important subjects. The interesting thing is that Ghanaians had written books in the regime previous to that, and the books had been sent to Singapore for publication. But you know how public servants are. Everybody was afraid to take a decision and so on. So I said, look, it doesn't make sense. If the books were written by us, but were only being published there, then why can't we go and get them? You know, everybody's afraid that they will accuse you that you got a bribe and so on, you know. Anyway, so that too I took to cabinet and started pestering the Minister for Finance.
Wow. God bless you. You've done a lot for this nation, and certainly you need to be celebrated. Walking us down, you know, the lane of history and bringing back memories, I know. Very challenging moments.
Very challenging.
For you as well.
Very challenging.
Let's get to talk about how you relax. Maybe first and foremost, let's talk about your hobbies. What do you enjoy doing?
What I enjoy is reading.
Yeah. Reading.
I enjoy reading. You know,
you speak very well. Is that the foundation, or is
that is the foundation? My mother loved to read. Growing up, we read everything from cowboy comics to serious books. my mother bought everything she could lay her hands on, and she made us go to the library very early. So we were a reading house, I should say. And, you know, we go to the library. My sister went first because she was older. And then she'll pick a book. But by the time she's ready to send the book, that everybody else has read it, including my mother.
Oh.
You know, so by the time I went to the library, she could take a book, I could take a book, different ones.
Good home.
You know, yes. So that's how my mother died reading. I mean, she always had a book by her bedside.
Apart from reading, do you do any sports?
Oh, I wish. I think this body is not the most active. You know, I try. But you know, at motor school, it was compulsory to do sports. And in order to get everybody to do it, your house would have to have certain marks before you would start the competition, inter-house competition. So everybody had to participate in it. Swimming, athletics, rounders, hockey, tennis. I would always qualify, you know, but there were some who were great.
Wow.
I wasn't one of those, but I played hockey and I played rounders.
Good to know. Well, hitting our message board, this one is from Adika. Adika says, bless his name for your life, Mom.
Hallelujah.
We celebrate
that.
you.
Amen.
Selassie says, Bolare, God bless you. You brought my mentor to your studio.
Amen.
Joy FM is the best. Michael Fitz Apreko says, salute you, woman of God.
Hallelujah.
We are with you, enjoying the show. And Nelly says, good evening, Mom. How are you able to combine all your busy schedules together to be so efficient?
Well, you know, you have to learn to prioritize. You can't do everything, and you shouldn't even try. You don't have to prove that you're good, but you need to prove that what you are given to do, you will do it with great excellence. And that's really what I do. You know, you just pick the things you're passionate about, you're good at, you do those very well. And then you step back, and then the things you're not so good at, you put in a little more effort so that you can
and then
do
you
it.
get there.
Yes.
So, see, you can do it all. You plan very well.
You have to plan.
You coordinate. You organize.
You have to coordinate.
Yes.
And you should not be afraid to get help from others, because you can't do it all.
You can't do it all.
You
It's something
should
that I'm
get,
picking.
yes, you should
from
get others to help you.
Sure. Kumi Daniel says, Bolare, great program. Tell her that I love her. Oh,
Hey, where's your face?
God bless you. And that's from Daniel Kumi. Ni Adote Yamo says, Bola, oh, Madam Joyce Aryee, one woman I admire and wish my God sent better half one day as qualities of her. We salute you, Mom. Thank you. Kwabna Amponsa Bidiako says, I'm looking forward to meeting Madam personally. Bolare, how do I get in touch with her? For you know, everything that she's achieved, we salute her. God bless you, Madam. And that's from Kwabna Amponsa Bidiako. Sabasi says, wow, tell my mom I love her so much. May God keep her. Nana Yao says, I'm really enjoying this interview. Joy FM, you are number one. She's indeed a great woman with your familiation. God bless her. Hallelujah. And that's from Nana Yao. What kind of music do you enjoy listening to?
Oh, I knew you would ask. So I'm here.
Oh, okay. So you brought your own CDs.
I brought a CD that I think you would love also.
Fantastic.
So
it's from...
This one is, you know, I'm the executive chairman of a choir called the Harmonious Choir.
Harmonious, yes.
Yes.
I saw that.
And they've sung the songs of this gentleman. But since you like the boom boom,
yes.
Start with the track 12.
Track 12. Tell us about the track before I even play for everyone.
You know, it is a title song. Obi Meshe Nia Yesu Aye. The words are awesome.
Wow.
Obi Meshe.
So there we have it. And it's from Pastor Kwabna Donko.
Yes.
Wow. Madam Joyce Aryee is my guest right here on Joy 99.7 FM. In just about 4 minutes from now, we'll activate the phone lines and you get to join us. Take a listen to this.
Don't ruin the song.
Yes, we'll come back. I'll bring it back from the top just for you. Right here on Joy.
Reverend Dr. Kwabna Donko lives in the US. An SDA, yes, an SDA minister, and heard about our choir, the Harmonious Chorale, of which I'm the executive chairman. And so he used them to sing this beautiful thing.
Great.
You know, great. But we also, the choir, we've come together and put what we call Adoration 2. And our choir director, well, our music director, James Amar, has some beautiful compositions there. And
I have this, yes. It says, Is it Waye?
Waye.
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 Tell us about this song briefly.
This song is a Ose na Waye. Unyami Osea Oye. You know when he say, you know, yes, we must take God at His word. You know, I tell people, He doesn't owe us. You know, usually when you owe somebody, you're always telling stories. You know, always giving excuses, telling. But God does not owe us. So He doesn't have to make a promise to us. He makes the promise out of the abundance of His heart. And we should take Him at His word. Yeah. I used to love to cook. You know, I used to love to cook.
And what happened?
Oh, well, you know, division of labor. Besides, you have to let others also do something, you know. But I like to experiment, you know. So when I go to the kitchen, I don't use any recipes. But I put things together creatively and they turn out well.
Really?
I remember my mother came to visit some time ago and then she saw me. I had a blender. I put the onions, the pepper, the garden eggs, tomatoes. Then I put it. Yeah, I quite an area. I'm so many young one. Now, I'm not young one. I'm so mama. I will try and easy naka. Oh. I said, no, the one I'm saying, I've been to them in Yamuku, Namzigum, Namaya, why? Technology. So, you know, so I love to cook, I like to experiment, I like to do things. I love grills, but my absolute favorite, quite a few, apim and kontomire, but not stewed.
You'll fall for that any day?
Yes. A boom. Yeah. With actual momoni, I don't want Kobe. In fact, Kobe in chi. Yede momoni ankasa. Kiti binyipi. And then I love fufu and light soup.
Fufu and light soup.
I can eat it. I like apim. I can eat apim even with steak.
Marriage.
Oh, I haven't done very well there.
Really?
Oh no.
Tell us about marriage.
1970, I think 77 January. I got married to Dr. Joe Menu, who now runs the Provita Hospital in Germany.
You got married in Germany?
In Germany.
Oh.
He was doing his gynecology. Yeah. So we got married there, and then I moved to live there in May of that year. But as I said, I didn't do very well. Strange countries, strange difficulties, you know, and we hadn't known each other for long, so things didn't work out too well.
You're married for like how many years?
About 3B.
3B?
3B.
But 3 is not real. 3 years.
Oh, 3 years. It wasn't much at all. But we have a wonderful son.
I know him.
You know, say. You know.
He's a fun guy to me. He recently got married or something.
Recently?
Yes.
Not recently. He's got 3 children. He has not been lazy.
Yes. He's been working in the night.
So the marriage didn't work, and by 82, I think it was over. I think I got the divorce.
How did you feel when it came crumbling and you realized that, well, this couldn't work out to Joyce?
You know, the one thing God has blessed me with is that when I really I hit rock bottom. I cry a bit, wipe my face, and I move on. You know, I cry, I worry a bit, but the thing is, so you worry about what can you do about it anyway?
Did you ask yourself, you know, questions like, God, why me?
No, about why not me? Who should it be? That's my always thing. But we ask God, why me? Why not you? Why should it be somebody else? If what is happening to you don't like, why would you want it to be? So I never ask that question. Wow. I never ask that question. And even if it comes to my mind, I'll ask for forgiveness immediately. So, you know, I think back, and I usually in a situation like that, I'll think back, I'll see what I did wrong, what the person did wrong, why I didn't wait. You move on. So 82, and then when next did you get married? I think 96.
96?
Yeah.
A long wait. Why that? The men were coming or they weren't?
You know, that's what they were coming. But you know, most of them married and so on and so forth. You know, but
you weren't ready.
No.
So what did you find in this man that
this young man?
Yes. 1996, you said.
96.
You said, okay, let me remarry.
You know, You know,
Who was this man, by the way?
I had just no names.
Can I mention his- Yes, Dr. Rekubobi.
Dr. Rekubobi.
When did you meet him?
Tarzan, if you're listening, you better listen well because I'm going to spill it all out. You know, I had just finished training as an evangelist. And I was going through so many temptations. I was telling the Lord, Father, I don't want to disgrace you. You know, then this guy walks into my house. I mean, I've always known him because his mother was my mother's good friend, family friend, and so on. You know, I remember the mother kept saying, Joyce, mami, or the nujami, you know, that kind of thing. And his older sister was also my friend. So, you know, it was strange. So I was asking the Lord, is this it?
It's,
you know, is this it? This was 95 when we met, you know. It was the beginning of 97, whatever. And then, yeah, so we got married. But I think that, in a sense, he never really told me, but I think I'm larger than life. I think my persona. So it came from
yes.
I think my persona is.
He couldn't stand it. He was like,
I don't know, because I remember a couple of times he would say, I know you wish that it is Joyce Aryee who's running for office, you know.
Oh, really? When he was running?
When he was running for office, you know.
You didn't support him?
He didn't take me to the rallies because he said I'm a politician in my own right, so he didn't want, you know. Tarzan, I hope I'm saying it right.
Were you going to take anything away from him, or maybe be the limelight? He felt like, well, just.
But you see, the thing is that with my red face, whether you like it or not, the light will be there. You know, this is the thing, you know. And I guess I've been around so long, you know, almost like a dinosaur. And you know, everywhere you go, Auntie Joyce, I was just sitting out there, almost everybody would stop by and say Auntie Joyce. You know, I have a friend in Germany. He says that, look, you don't want to go with Joyce any place in Ghana because you'll be stopped and so on. Then the town that she lives in, when we go out to buy things, it's me they talk to. He says, Joyce,
you take a shine.
She says, when I go shopping, nobody says hello to me. But as soon as they see, they beam with smiles and so on.
Blessed beyond measure.
Blessed beyond measure. You know. So I think that was a bit of a problem.
So you and Dr. Rekubobi, it lasted for?
6. I think I did better
than the first one.
The first
6
one.
years.
6 years.
Wow.
6 years, yes, because we got married. And then, about 6 years.
6 years.
About
Well,
6 years.
we'll get into it. People want to join us now on the lines. You can join us 0302-216-541. Madam Joyce Aryee is our guest right here on Joy 99.7 FM. How would you describe your relationship with Chairman Rawlings, back then President Rawlings? How was it like?
You know, we knew each other in school. So
Achimota School.
Achimota School. He was my junior in Achimota School. You know, so you know. I gave him all the respect, but then he knew that if something needed to be said, I'd say it. Not in any way that would be rude or anything, because I'm not that kind of person.
Were you ever rude to him?
No
Stories
way.
Flying around that
No way.
You had a fight with none of that? Really?
Oh no, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. You know,
thanks for setting the record straight.
Yeah, you have to respect authority.
Great.
You know, you can disagree. But I would never be openly rude to anybody who has authority over me.
We have a caller. Jonas is on the line as our first caller. Hello, Jonas. Good evening and welcome.
Good evening. Would love to speak to Auntie Joyce any day, anytime. Auntie Joyce, this is Jonas.
Hello, Jonas. How are you?
Wonderful. Want to quickly ask, would love to celebrate you all the time. Want to quickly ask, how did you deal with the issue of, you know, bribery and corruption in your you know, political, you know, history, and then what gets you overly, you know, disgusted in life?
Why don't you ask for something positive? Actually, during the PNDC, you know, the whole ethos was such that bribery and corruption was not something you wanted to deal with. I mean, it was a military regime. People got actually executed for that kind of thing. But I remember my first day at the Ministry of Education. You know, a lot of people do contract work, and so on, and the minister has to sign certain portions before they go and get their money. So I get there, and then some people come, and then they say, you know, our papers have been waiting for so long, and they haven't been signed. And I said, well, I've just come. Just give me a week. Let me go through the documents. If your documents are okay and everything is intact, then of course